What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to your Monday morning movie reviewing podcast with the Dueling Fates. That's what I usually use, right? You give me
No,
a weird
it's
sound.
just the way you said it. Reviewing.
Reviewing. Yep.
We're reviewing.
We're no longer reviewing or reviewing now.
Yeah.
your Monday morning movie reviewing podcast with the Dueling Fates. Today we tackle The Last Jedi, the most controversial film in the Star Wars franchise. I'm Grayson. That's Geek. He can go fuck himself, though.
Rude.
No.
I love how much you look like the bad guy because nobody ever hears when I say it to you. So I say it before I hit the record button. Every time. That's how I do the countdown for him to do the intro. It's pretty great.
Yeah.
It breaks him every time. He pops a little.
Usually when I'm not fully prepared.
Yeah.
Last episode, fine.
No,
This
last episode you chuckled at the beginning.
I could chuckle, but like... it's
Yeah,
not
that
gonna-
broke you. It popped you. Popped him.
No, it's not a pop.
It's a pop.
No, it would be a botch.
No.
Yeah, because I fucked up doing what I was doing.
You
Especially this
always fuck up. You are a botch.
episode. No, my name is Grayson, not Botch.
Yeah, Grayson Botch.
No, that is not any of my names.
That's your last name
Not
now.
really close. Anyways, Last Jedi, buddy. Ready to tackle what the Star Wars community has deemed as Satan himself?
I will not be the last Jedi. I don't know why I
think you
said
are.
Luke's line in the tone of Kylo Ren. I don't know why I did it that way, but it's fine.
Yeah, close enough.
Yeah, I mean, might as well.
Yeah.
So this movie picks up literally right where the last one left off.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, no. Like it does, but it doesn't.
It's like 10 minutes later.
No, it's the exact same moment though. They just don't cut it. They don't start it with that moment, which
Yeah.
is weird. Like that moment is concurrently happening with what is happening to the rebels, but for some reason we start off with rebels fleeing
Scum. Yeah, Rebel Scum. Yeah.
and Poe being funny.
Because these films are fucking hilarious.
Oh, is this General Hugs? I need to speak to General Hugs.
Bro's just doing a fucking, like,
He was
prank call
stalling.
on-
He was stalling.
like, yeah. But can you imagine doing a prank call on a high-ranking member of a dictatorship?
Yeah. It'd be pretty fun.
You might die afterwards, but, because you're not Poe Dameron.
But you don't know that.
That you're not Poe Dameron?
Yeah.
Well, Poe Dameron is, a lot of things you aren't.
Name one.
Should I be mean or real? He's not white. That's for one. Are you gonna look up if Oscar Isaac's white?
Maybe.
He's not.
I don't
He's
know anything
Hispanic.
about Oscar Isaac.
He's
Like,
Hispanic.
actually.
He's Hispanic.
Oh, he is. Look at that.
I think Hispanic and Irish.
I don't know anything about Oscar Isaac, if I'm honest. This is like,
He's Spider-Man 2099.
until Moon Knight, like, this was the only thing I'd ever seen him in. Ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because even to this day, I have not seen, what is it, X-Men Apocalypse?
He
Never
is
saw that one.
Apocalypse in that.
Never saw that one.
Yeah.
Didn't even know they were the same guy.
Yeah, he's blue in that film, so.
Yeah. But like Moon Knight and then obviously Spider-Man. But like that's all I've ever seen him in.
Okay.
Ever. So I just didn't know. That's cool.
What do you?
I don't know if that's true. It says he's going to be in Avengers Doomsday. And like I hope so, but I doubt it.
As Poe Dameron.
Ah, yes.
As we said last episode, Avengers Doomsday is gonna be ass, and probably because they're real like putting
Oh.
everything in there.
So,
Yeah. Last Jedi.
yeah.
I don't like the sound of your voice right
This
now.
movie, it mirrors Empire again. I swear to
does
God, they
in
were trying to
order.
recreate the original trilogy again. That's it.
They were, but Ryan Johnson did it better because it's not fucking Empire. It just follows the same type of. It has the same like look and feel to it.
And
Like
the
it
same
has that.
beats, because literally the beginning
But
of the
they're
movie
mixed
is exactly the
around.
same.
They're mixed around. Force Awakens not mixed around. This one mixed around.
I mean,
Because is at the end of this film.
well, no, because that's not snow, it's salt.
Well, yeah, they had to make some differences.
No, they didn't have to.
It's fucking Hoth. We know it's Hoth.
It's not Hoth. No,
It's
Hoth
Hoth.
is the first planet they're on that they're evacuating, you moron. That is literally, they play it exactly the same as Hoth.
Dude, the Salt
I don't
Planet
give a fuck about snow.
well.
I don't give a fuck about snow. I'm talking about what the planet means. It's where they were based, and it's where the First Order found them, and where they're evacuating.
Yeah, but also like this half the film is them trying to escape the First Order,
Yes.
which is not how Empire worked.
I mean,
They
kinda.
go no,
Yeah.
no, because they weren't at need for fuel. They were just stuck at Cloud City.
Well, no, I mean the rest. Everybody was running from the Empire all movie. Everybody's running from the First Order all movie. Same thing.
Yeah,
Cloud City, same thing as Canto Bite. Same shit, different day.
and I'm not disagreeing that it's like the same story beats. They're just mixed around though. It's
I'm
different.
just saying they really did the copy. You know, can I copy your homework? Yeah, just change it up a little so they don't notice.
And they make a good film.
So I don't know. The beginning of this movie is so weird
Why?
because I think it's worse than Empire because they don't actually. Empire like shows the Empire finding them and like the start of the evacuation. This movie just starts mid evacuation.
Well, because we see them starting the attack.
No, no, we didn't.
That they found them, yeah. They were finding. They were going to find them. They mentioned that they were
Well,
going.
they
to
knew
find
what planet, yes, but
Yes.
at the end of the last movie, we see all of the First Order explode.
Not all of it.
How did Hux get off the planet? Where were these ships at? How did any of this happen? We don't know. It's
That's
just
right.
happening now.
Yeah,
That bugs me.
it's half of Star Wars, bro.
Show me things. I don't care. And I've complained about it every other time, and I'm going to complain about it now.
Plot armor is the most.
Fuck you,
the
plot
strongest
armor.
armor
I
in
literally
all Star Wars
bitched about
universe.
that at the end of last episode.
I know.
Fuck you, plot armor.
Well, plot armor.
Make it
is
make
the
sense.
strongest
No,
armor.
make it make sense.
Probably the best car.
Make it make sense.
No.
Make it make sense.
Nope.
God damn it.
Nope.
Make it make sense.
Nope. I refuse.
Poe
Bitch.
does the little jokey joke, and hey, they destroy a dreadnought. Those are a pretty big ship.
Yeah.
Not the
my
biggest
problem with-
ship. Dude, the ship that shows up later, I'll tell you all about that one. Oh my god.
My problem with the dreadnought thing is like we're just like, hey, here's the idea of the dreadnought, but we're never afraid of the dreadnought because we don't know what it does besides blow up a few ships.
No, we literally watch it blow up the base.
Yeah, but it's like, oh, whatever.
Oh, we're just gonna ignore what actually happens so we can lie about it.
Without the surface cannons, it feels like it only has one thing to attack, and that's whatever's below it.
What?
The dreadnought, the surface cannons, which Pope takes out almost immediately, besides that one cannon, is like it feels like the most dangerous part because it's able to take out anything above it that's actually attacking it. Like the bombs that are coming.
Yeah.
So without it,
I
it
don't
feels
understand your
less-
complaint here.
But no, I'm saying without the top cannons, it feels less dangerous because
That
it's
is the point. That
I
is literally
know.
what the movie is telling you. I don't.
I know. I just don't feel very, scared. I'm not scared, bud.
Okay. I guess.
But dope ass fucking scene like flying scene. It's like one of the most like compelling like
Oh, dude, Poe's so good.
aerial battles.
And then
I,
and
I,
then the
I,
bombs happen, and then Rose's sister dies, and well,
how do you
everybody
feel?
dies because Poe's an idiot.
And that's the point of the movie.
Kinda.
Yeah. How do you feel about the anti-gravity bombs?
Are they anti-gravity?
Then they have to turn on to fall, and I think they're turning on the anti-gravity
Well, no, they're
because
releasing them from a thing to make them fall. Star
yeah,
Wars
but
has
it's
never cared about gravity because
gravity.
when a ship explodes, it falls in space. When
Yeah,
really it should just stay floating there. Star Wars doesn't care about gravity.
yeah.
Other thing that I
I've heard the
liked,
complaint about it.
the two
So
things I want to say. Well, if you're
yeah.
going to complain about that, then go back and complain about George watching the Star Destroyers fall out of the fucking sky. If
I'm
you're
not
gonna
complaining about
no,
it.
if you're gonna pretend to give a fuck about science, give a fuck about science. Don't try to use it only when it fits your stupid fucking narrative,
Yeah,
you piece of shit.
Dig,
I'm not
I
talking to
just meant
you dumb
okay.
bitch. Jesus Christ. If you're too dumb to figure out that I'm not talking to you, then maybe I am talking to you. Maybe
What
you
the
need to
you-
hear it too, because you gotta think. Come on. I'm obviously talking to the idiots. You don't get to
These
use
were-
science for you. And only when you want it to work. You don't get to use science to discredit Disney, but we're not going to use it for George. Shut the fuck up. Star Wars has always been stupid. The ships shouldn't explode. They're in space. There should be no fire because you're in space. Dumb bitch. But we all overlook that because it's sci-fi. But then, so I have two theories of how the bombs could work scientifically.
Uh-huh.
Are they still in the planet's gravity?
Technically,
Like, are
yeah.
they still in atmosphere? Then they might still fall. Also,
I mean,
are they
not
falling or
atmosphere.
are they being pushed down? Did they get pushed somehow? They could got pushed because it's space. All you got to do is lightly push something and it'll just float that way forever.
You know, I'm gonna lightly push you into space.
You ain't gonna do shit.
Yeah.
You're gonna sit there.
No, I'm gonna take the Elon Musk space shuttle that's gonna save those astronauts and
That don't technically need
space
saved,
punks.
but whatever.
Yeah.
The news around that has bugged me because none of it's even kind of correct the way people are talking about it, and it bugs me. They're
A lot of things
stranded.
bug you.
No, there's not. They're not though. They have both the ship they arrived there on and another ship that they could just get on and come home.
Mm-hmm.
They're just staying there. Who wouldn't want more time in space? Space is cool, man.
Space is terrifying.
The dangerous part was getting there. You're already there. Hang out. Who cares?
Geek, I think the difference between me and you and our perspective on space is that you grew up on Star Wars. I grew up on Alien.
No, space isn't terrifying. Star Wars has way more terrifying creatures than Alien. Bro's never heard of the Yuzon Vong.
I don't know how to spell that before I just even look at it. Yu Song Vong. Well, there you go. I got it. What do you look like?
Oh, I don't just mean what they look like. I mean what they do.
They just look like mad elves. That's what they look like. They look like maybe like
I don't know.
Dark Justiers from fucking Baldur's Gate.
Okay, so like the second picture on Google where they're holding those weird little staff things, those are snakes.
You're a
Their
snake.
ships and armor are all like living creatures. It's really weird. They're such a cool species. This is not important. Moving on. I'm sorry. I got distracted. The Yuzon Vong are cool, man.
Well,
They should have had them be the big bad guy instead of Palpatine. As they were in like the dark. Yeah, not important. Okay. Where were we? Oh yeah. Finn gets not Finn. Poe gets everybody killed. Finn's already dead. Kinda. He's laying on a ship, half dead.
Is that a mobile BAFTA tank that they put him in?
I think so. I think so.
Because it's like, God, it's just in concept, but like
It's a
just
back to
not.
suit. Back
Okay.
to suit. It's pretty cool.
I can always call it BAFTA. Is it not BAFTA?
Bacta. BACTA. Bacta.
I don't know what it means. So I don't. Bacteria.
That scene's interesting. And then Leia demotes him, as she should. Poe's an idiot.
Is this true?
That's kind of the whole point of this movie, is that Poe's an idiot.
A little bit. Well, I love that he's like, that she goes like, you can't just jump in an X-wing and blow some shit up, and then literally 5 seconds later is like, can I go in an X-wing and blow some shit up? I'm like, yeah.
Permission to go in an X-wing and blow some shit up. Permission granted. And then he doesn't make it to the X-wing because it gets blown up.
And
okay,
he loses his head.
That's the thing I think I hate most about this movie. I want the dogfight, the space dogfight between Kylo and Poe.
Oh, I think when a Michael Vick dogfight, I'm like, damn.
Why are you the dumbest guy in every room?
It was a dumb joke I was trying to make, because you're like, yeah, I want a dogfight, and then you correct yourself. I want this space dogfight.
Because most dogfights just happen in the air. I am not thinking of that kind of dogfighting. I'm thinking of what you call when two aircraft fight each other. You dumb bitch. I'm thinking about the thing normal people think about. Not everybody's only focused on crime, Grayson.
I love crime. I love arson, bro. It's so much fun.
Well, I also wasn't talking about that. Where did you get arson? What is happening?
It's my favorite crime.
How many times have you committed arson?
The number is not low.
FBI, get him. He admitted to it. Get him. Move.
FBI ain't gonna do shit.
I was wearing a wire.
Is the wire the mic in front of me?
Yes.
Anyways, Last Jedi.
Right. We are too ADHD to do a movie podcast.
That's what makes it so great.
Is it?
We should be the most popular movie podcast ever.
So okay. I'm trying to remember does it just go from all of that? Well, Leia explodes. They kill Admiral Akbar. It's a trap guy.
I know who it is.
They kill him.
I don't care.
Well, but he can't yell it's a trap later. That's pretty important. You know how helpful that would have been when they all got on the little ship to just have Admiral Akbar go, it's a trap. Again? That was more Richard Nixon than Admiral Akbar, but that's okay.
We're playing zombies over here.
Yeah, normally.
Yeah, Black Ops 1 zombies.
What were we? I lost.
We're talking about Richard Nixon.
Oh yeah. Kylo let the past die. He killed it if he had to. At least he thought, because he blew up the bridge.
Shit. He didn't do shit. He let go.
That's true. He wasn't gonna. And then
he said, "Nah, fam, I'm gonna live.
I'm not gonna kill my mom. That's my mom." And then boom, dead.
Do you think those they're not called stormtroopers when they're in the?
I mean, they kind of are. But what about them?
Do you
Imperial
think they
pilots?
died, thank you. Do you think they got stabbed immediately after they landed? Back in the
as they travel back, you literally watch them get blown up. So no, I don't think they got stabbed. I think they got blown up.
They could have gotten stabbed by debris.
Probably not, because there probably wasn't much of them left. They are the debris.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it finally cuts back to Luke and Rey standing there it's literally been 4 years that they've been standing there while we waited for this movie to come out.
It was only 2.
That's a long time to stand there.
I know. And just stare at each other doing the...
I know everybody else hates it. I still thought it was hilarious when he grabbed the lightsaber, had his moment, and then just fucking yeet.
I love it. I think it's hilarious.
I do get the point, though, where, like, why would Luke do that?
They split it later.
Not that, though. Like, they do, but Luke in this movie still confuses me. As much as I get it and don't hate it anymore, it's still just, like, my biggest thing, I'm gonna get into a little later in the movie right now because I just feel like I need to.
Yeah.
Luke in the original trilogy. Everybody says, well, Luke saw the good invader, right? And didn't act on it. In this movie, we get both unreliable narrator versions of what happened that night and then finally get the truth. We get Luke saying he never actually drew his weapon, and then you have Kylo saying he like swung at him, which neither are true. You have what actually happened. And when you look back at Luke, look at Jedi, right?
Yeah.
Vader says something about his sister. Luke goes almost too far before he's able to stop himself. Yeah, he cuts off Vader's hand. Is it really that far if it's cutting off something that you can't even feel? Because it's a robot hand, it doesn't matter. But like, Luke doesn't kill Vader, and even though he sensed good in him, he still like went full psycho and almost killed him. In this movie, it is very in character for Luke to have drawn his weapon in the briefest moment of pure instinct. I thought I could stop it. That tracks. He would ignite his saber. I think Grayson froze. Yep, Grayson's gone. Love that. So in the briefest moment of pure instinct, he ignites his saber and he's like, there you go, you're back. Welcome in.
Yeah. Hi.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
That tracks for Luke's character. To me, it never really tracked. Even though the movie tries to explain it, it doesn't fit for what Luke has always been, him just truly abandoning everybody that's not Luke. That's where my hang up is. I don't think he'd throw the saber. I don't think he would actually go hide out on Ahch-To. Now, I could see a world where he's off training or doing other things. I don't see, and this might just be and this is why I say with this movie, it's not that it's a bad movie. It's just not my favorite movie. I don't personally love it. And because like, it's not a bad story. It's just, this isn't Luke. That's not how Luke would act, and that bugs me.
Okay.
Go ahead. It is how the Jedi act, but Luke has never acted like a Jedi.
I get that point. But the only two people he has received training from ever in his life were the two people who, after they failed, immediately went into seclusion.
I understand.
So he's just acting like his masters because that's who he has to.
But Luke also told his masters at the time that they needed to change. They told him there needed to be change. And he fell into the exact same thing, and that doesn't track.
That's the point of the fucking movie. He literally says the Jedi died because they do some stupid shit. And he's doing the same stupid shit. He's a hypocrite. He literally has been pointed out multiple times in the movie as a hypocrite.
No, I get that. And I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, I don't hate it. That's not to me how that should go. And it bugs me. But it's also like, the story still makes sense. It all works. It's just like, you know?
I think it's fine. I think it makes sense. I think it follows in line with everything the Jedi do, because as much as he wants to say that he's not a Jedi, he is a Jedi. And he does the exact same things they do. It's a loop. They go in a loop. He's criticizing the exact same thing that he is.
Sure. That's why he thinks the Jedi should end. I get most of that.
The only way it can end is by him going away.
But I don't know. I get how it works. It just, to me, Luke's always supposed to be I don't know. He's supposed to be the true, I don't know, the unbreakable one.
Then you have a flat character.
I don't think you do.
That's a 2D character right there.
No, it's not. Having a character who just doesn't, do the exact same thing as every other character ever doesn't make him 2D. You're just looking at this as if, he should never struggle with anything, which is obviously not what I'm saying. I'm literally talking about how he struggled. The struggling with Kylo minutes before was fine. I'm talking about doing the same thing Yoda and Obi-Wan did when he criticized them for it. Being a little bitch about it. That's not Luke. That's not what Luke is supposed to be.
He had the same exact failure as Yoda and Obi-Wan.
Sure, he is supposed to be the one that handles it different. He's the change. He's the new hope. He's the new Jedi Order. I don't like the idea. I get how you think it's supposed to work. I get how the writing works, Grayson. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying it's not Luke. Those can both be true. Okay. It doesn't have to be bad writing, but it can still not be how that character would act.
But him wanting the Jedi way to change, and him thinking that the Jedi...
Changing it and ending it are not the same thing. Fucking off and abandoning your family, which Luke would never do.
If it's inherently fucked up, like the Jedi Order is, it needs to end. It cannot just change.
No, it can change.
Yeah, when the past teachings are gone and done with, there's no recollection of it.
You are the one teaching the future generation. Okay,
he does.
He waits 30 fucking years and lets all of his friends die first. That's not Luke. Luke would never do that. The entire comment. What, you want me to go face down the entire First Order alone? Yeah, you literally did that with the Empire.
I think you're deifying Luke, which he says that it should have been done in the first place.
I'm not deifying him. I'm talking about the exact acts he actually did. I'm not over-exaggerating them. He literally faced down the entire Empire on his own.
We literally talked about this last episode. The First Order feels like a much more dangerous opponent to the Rebellion. And we see that throughout this entire film.
Yeah, and Luke is much stronger than the entire First Order.
We don't know that.
We do.
No, because we do not know the powers of Kylo Ren at this current point. We saw him at his most tame level in the last episode.
But what I'm saying is
cracked.
You forget who Luke Skywalker is.
And you forget who fucking Kylo Ren is.
No, I don't. We saw Kylo Ren, an overly emotional, even for a dark side user, an overly emotional dude who... How did Snoke put it in this movie? Lost to a girl who had never held a lightsaber before?
Because he was also injured. And filled with absolute hate.
When you're filled with absolute hate.
Lines.
No, hate gives you power in the dark side. He should have been more powerful. If you look at how the Force has always worked.
Mm-hmm.
Just because JJ wanted to make it different to...
Well, fuck JJ. This is Ryan, baby.
But now you have to go with that. But the same thing is still happening. Kylo versus Luke wouldn't last 4 seconds.
Well, it did last more than 4 seconds.
No, it didn't. Kylo dropped a building on him. And there was never a duel. They clashed lightsabers and... There was this duel where Luke never moved and wasn't actually there and never actually dueled anything. He just stood there yapping.
Yeah.
That's not a duel, you dumb bit. You have to be the dumbest person I've ever met. No, it's not.
Minds, yes.
No, it's literally just stalling. It's the Luke literally prank called him. That's not a duel, that's a prank call, dog.
Man, this movie, it starts and ends with a prank call. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's Star Wars. It's like poetry. It rhymes.
Well, other things rhyme.
You're not going to get the quote, and that makes me really upset. That was a George Lucas quote when he was talking about Star Wars. And how certain things were similar. He's like, yeah, it's Star Wars. It's like poetry. It rhymes. But I get the experiencing loss and failure and whatever. But the entire point of Luke is that he's supposed to be different. And instead of making him different at all, you just made him Obi-Wan again. And that sucks. That's such a boring way to take the character.
Sure. It may be boring, but it makes sense for the lineage.
But it doesn't. The entire point of Luke has been showing that he's nothing like those Jedi. And then you make him exactly the same. Why? Because you're too lazy to write a better story?
Yes.
Like, Rian Johnson might have done everything else perfectly, but the way he did Luke bugs me. And that's why I will always be conflicted on this movie. I think as a movie on its own, wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
But because if you made Luke any other Jedi, I'm cool with it.
Mm-hmm.
But because it's Luke, I'm not. And I'm not deifying him. I'm not saying he has to be perfect. But I am saying that that is not how Luke acts. This isn't character development. This is take a character, rip him to shreds, make a new character, and pretend they're the same one. It's not how this works. None of what Luke does in this movie is Luke until, like, maybe the very end.
So you're having the Solo issue, is what I'm hearing.
No, because I'm correct. You were not.
For how do the solar?
Huh?
I seriously thought it was
So, with Solo, you're saying Han doesn't act like Han, even though he does. He's acting entirely like Han. Yeah, he's being more of a good guy. That hasn't fundamentally changed the character. He is still a smuggler. He is still doing smuggler things. He literally lies and cheats at the end of the movie. That is how the movie completes. And then he shoots his own friend. Nothing changes with Han. He is just Han. You're just upset because he acts like a bit of a more decent guy and that no character development happens later, as in after he kills Beckett, he doesn't change at all. We literally see the pivotal changing point in Han's life. You just ignored that. We didn't see a pivotal change that makes Luke entirely a new character. No, Kylo having some darkness is not a pivotal change. That is literally just Vader a second time, and he never gave up on Vader.
Yeah, but now he's in charge of training Vader, and now he's scared of what happens if he can't stop it. And inadvertently, by trying to figure out how he could stop it, made it worse.
Sure. And then completely didn't act like his character would act. He doesn't try to fix it. He doesn't try to help anything.
He did try to fix it.
No,
That's
he
the
didn't.
Problem.
No, he didn't. Once he causes Kylo to turn, he runs away and hides, leaving his family to die. Luke would never. Luke faced down the entire Empire because they threatened Leia.
Luke also had the same failure as both Obi-Wan and Yoda had.
Right. He had a place to learn from, but instead of doing that, he cut himself off from the Force, not even to learn from them. He couldn't get any help. He just does. That's not Luke. You have to realize that's not Luke. You've seen this character the same way I have. You're just saying that it's allowed to change. But
so I don't have this vision of Luke where I feel like this is ruining the character. I think this is just a different progression than many people thought it would have gone.
But it's because you take everything that this character is built as and you just throw it in the garbage. None of this feels like the Luke Skywalker we've ever seen before. Not one time. And you're saying he changed because a bad thing happened. It's not the first time it has. Luke has always been. I'm not saying he's perfect, obviously, because I do think all of the events up to when Kylo turns is correct. I think all of that goes exactly that way. Luke would act purely on instinct and ignite his lightsaber and think he could fix it and then realize he fucked up and caused this problem. The issue and the hang-up is Luke wouldn't run away.
But maybe Luke figures that he's the issue that's causing this. And so that's why he runs away.
To leave the galaxy to die. That's not what Luke would do.
No, because
he's abandoning everybody.
He's not abandoning
No, he
it.
abandoned everybody. Oh, I just gave my most powerful student to the dark side. He is going to go kill everyone I love. I'm going to cut myself off from the Force and hide. That's what you did. You just didn't actually pay attention to what Luke did. You're just pretending that it's okay. Well, he didn't abandon everybody. He just abandoned everybody. Are you that dumb? Come on. He didn't abandon everybody. He just cut himself off from the Force and ran away like a little bitch. That's not Luke.
What does the Force do when there's an obscene balance issue with the dark side being too heavy or the light side being too heavy, it creates a new light side. He needed the Force to balance itself out, which it did with the Rey.
There would have been balance had he stayed also.
He didn't trust himself though. He said, "I fucked up. I don't know how I can."
So I'm not even going to try to
have...
fix it. I'm not going to study. I'm not going to listen to other Jedi Masters. I'm not going to do anything that Luke would do. I'm just going to quit because I'm Obi-Wan.
Read those books. He was a 19-year-old fucking farm boy. He ain't going to do shit like that.
That's not what I'm talking. He literally can talk to 4 of the most powerful Jedi to ever live whenever he wants to. But instead, he chose to not.
He chose solitude.
That's not what Luke would do.
Would it not?
No. I've watched this character. I know how he acts. This thing that he wouldn't do. Yeah, I'm going to believe that's what he would do because I'm not actually willing to think about Luke as a character. I'm just trying to think about how to make it make sense for this movie. And it's fine if it's not Luke.
Okay, but we've seen Luke fall before in Empire, right?
And he immediately gets back up and continues trying. He didn't give up. He's not a little bit.
But the thing is, when he got back up, he was so close to the dark side.
No.
Yes, he was. That's literally the start of the 6th movie, is that he is tempted by the dark side because he wants to join his father.
The temptation's always there, but he also never says he wants to join his father. He wants to turn his father to the light.
At the end
You're
of the
just changing what he wants to do. Those are not the same thing.
At the end of the 6th movie, when he reunites with his friends, yes. But when he's away from his friends, he is tempted by the dark side like no other.
That's just
his friends
not
are what
true.
brings him back.
Everyone is tempted by the dark side. It's literally, he explains it in this movie and he does the same thing. When Rey immediately goes to the cave, she immediately went to the dark. Yes, so did you when you first trained with Yoda. That's what happens. That is how the temptation of all of the Force is. That is, every Force user goes through that.
And I understand that. I'm just saying, when he is by himself and he is connected to the Force, he is dragged to the dark side.
And why go be by yourself? Why choose that path?
Because he fucked up. He didn't want to go see Leia and fucking Han after he just turned their son to the dark side.
Every other time he's fucked up, he faced it. Why not this time?
Because it's their son.
Yeah, and before it was his dad, and before it was Han, and before it was every other thing that he's fucked up. This isn't that much different.
It is.
It's really not.
I don't think this is character assassination at all.
I really do.
Perfectly fine.
But you also didn't like the movies until this watch through. And you didn't grow up caring about Luke, and you still don't. And that's okay, but they took everything that was a pillar of Luke's character and went, fuck you, we're not doing that. Which, fine. Tell that story. It's still a good story. I just don't like it. And I'm allowed to. Okay. Like, if you look at this from the perspective of a pure movie, it's great. I just don't like what they did to Luke, and I will never get over it. I do understand the way that the story tells it, and, like, it all makes sense to a degree. It just doesn't fit Luke's character. You've completely changed Luke's character without showing... You just showed a moment where he entirely flips away from everything he's done.
And there's just a moment.
To me, there needs to be a bit of a build-up to why he would change anything. That's the same reason, and you'll see it in Season 8 of Game of Thrones with characters and why people hate them. It's because there's a sudden flip. You spend years seeing that they are one thing, and then one thing happens, and they completely change everything about their character. Everything that ever mattered to them immediately changes, and that doesn't track. People don't change like that.
I'm saying I think the Kylo turning does more than one thing besides, hey, Luke.
No, it's just, I failed again. Now I must give up and change everything about myself.
No, but I'm saying he doesn't just fail himself. He doesn't just fail the Jedi. He fails his friends. He fails the galaxy. He fails everyone. That's the
That's not
difference.
the first time that's happened.
He's never failed the galaxy like that.
Literally in Empire.
No, he doesn't fail that.
If he just kills Vader there, he wins. He failed the galaxy by letting Vader live.
In my opinion, Luke Skywalker would never be able to kill Anakin Skywalker.
And then,
any type of fight.
then Luke failed because Han got taken away. So he failed his friends, and he failed the galaxy, and he failed the rebels, and he failed himself because his hand is gone, and his lightsaber. He fucked up everywhere. And what does he do? Immediately gets up and goes back to Yoda for more training. In this movie, he fails everything. What does he do? Immediately falls down and becomes... Yes, there is. He can literally just talk to Yoda.
No,
he can
Luke
talk
says
to Anakin. He can
Yoda
talk
says
to
his training
Obi-Wan.
done.
He can talk to Qui-Gon. Yeah,
Yoda says his
we're
training's
not
done.
going with that because then in every other version of Yoda, it's training never ends. Being a Jedi, you're always learning. You're always training. Fuck what Yoda says on his deathbed in episode 6. He was delusional.
But Yoda also says, fuck those books.
No,
Fuck
he
the
didn't.
training. Says fuck the Jedi Order.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he does.
No, he said that tree has nothing the girl does not already have because the books are on the Falcon. You just ignored a major plot point to try to make your point. And also, why the fuck is Yoda the only one? No, they don't.
Don't they?
No, they are literally on the Falcon. At the end, they open that drawer on the Falcon to grab something, and all the books are there.
Yeah. Why did I not correlate those in the same books?
Those are the only books that have ever appeared in the Star Wars galaxy ever. There's never been another book.
Maybe they really want to read Earth, Wind, and Fire.
So that's the thing. Is like Yoda did the Yoda thing. He cheeky joked it with that tree doesn't have anything she doesn't already possess because she literally had the books. I still haven't figured out. I'm pretty sure Luke's the one who moved the books to the Falcon. Because when Chewie finds Luke on the Falcon, I swear that is him taking those books. But maybe Rey did it later. I just always thought that was the moment. I don't know.
Nah, it seems like a Rey thing to steal it and just
See,
say.
that's just the connection in my head, though, because it was right after the tree. It cuts to Chewie sitting outside the Falcon and then Luke sneaking in behind him. I always thought that was just him putting the books on the Falcon. They never really explain how the books get there. They're just there. So I always thought it was Luke, and then... But it doesn't really make sense with what Luke does, trying to burn it down later, so I don't know.
Yeah. Rey's is very much
She's a scavenger. That's exactly what she would do. I don't disagree.
She's to ask for forgiveness later type person.
But yeah, I think
You spent like
wow,
20 minutes.
Yeah, we are 43 minutes into this episode, just me yelling about Luke.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
It's funny though because, like I said, I do enjoy this movie. I just don't like the way it treats Luke.
Or, as in the wise words of Kylo Ren, let the past die. Does it matter?
That's not what.
No, Ryan Johnson is talking directly to the audience and saying, fuck your original trilogy. Let's move on because that's the only way this franchise can survive.
I don't like it. Don't say fuck the original trilogy. There wouldn't be this movie without the original trilogy.
I understand that, but he's saying the only way you can survive is moving past those 3 fucking movies.
So we can move past them without completely assassinating Luke.
Well, hey, fuck you.
Like, literally, just assassinate Luke later. Just kill him off. Let the past die. Right. But I'm saying you don't have to make Luke a little bitch before you kill him. You can just kill him. The stakes would be so much more cool if there was a Okay, how about instead of all of this, Luke was trying to figure out how to save the galaxy. Rey shows up. He helps train Rey. Then he does go and face Kylo.
Yeah.
And Kylo beats him. That's a better story. And that sets Kylo up to actually be the big bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, that's my thing, is there's many ways you could have done the same let the past die thing without explicitly going out of your way to make Luke everything Luke's not. And that's my issue. That's my only issue, basically, with this entire movie.
That's crazy.
I like I know people hate it, but I love the callback to Rey leaving Octu in the same way Luke left Dagobah. The older, wiser wizard. Don't do it. It's a bad idea. You're gonna fuck up. And then she goes, and she kind of fucks up.
Well, like we said earlier, this is basically just Empire.
Right. And I do like that. I like that it's different enough in that way. But like I said, I just think there's a better way you could have handled Luke. Can I say, though, I love the conversations between Luke and Rey on that planet about how the Jedi failed, and at the height of their power, they allowed the Emperor to rise and the Empire to rise and allowed the Chosen One to be corrupted. Like, I
You know
love...
what's funny?
Yeah.
If the Star Wars bros would go back and rewatch this movie, because they probably haven't, they would get punched in the face with the exact thing they've been missing.
Which thing? Are you talking to me
Jedi
about
always
this?
sucked? No,
Oh,
just
no.
like
Yeah, no, the Jedi have always sucked.
They're never been
But that,
good.
to me, was always the point of Luke, is he was supposed to be the change.
I know, but they're punching the face
Right.
with it.
No, for sure.
But literally,
Absolutely. The Jedi were always... Well, they haven't always sucked. They've just always been flawed.
Yeah.
The Jedi were never perfect and
they
never
were
will
considered
be.
a hubris, yeah.
Yes. 100%. And yeah, I love all of those conversations. I love the training with Rey. I love the fear he gets when
You like the
she
milk.
copies him. No. And the only reason why I don't isn't even like the milk itself. If he like got the
Gets his
milk and
beard.
then left and whatever, it's fine.
He gets in
No.
his beard.
It's the look the creature gives Rey, like he's getting off on it. Don't like that. Like, that's what fucked me up. It's like, is that milk or is that something else? You know what I mean?
I never thought of it like that, but it's fucking fun.
The way he's like
My-
leaned back and then looks over at Rey, like, yeah, we'll have a good time.
I love
Oh.
the milk scene because it shows that at this point in time, Luke is just a fucking hermit, and that because he gets all in his beard. It's like if he was anywhere else, he'd be at least like wiping it off or like whatever. But it just shows that he has lost his like normal like mannerisms.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he always liked his blue milk. So
I love the scene with Chewie when Chewie, you know, breaks down Luke's door.
Yeah.
Talks about the Falcon and then where's Han? And he has to learn all of that. I also love the like start of showing the dyad between Rey and Kylo.
hmm I love those conversations. Those are my favorite part of the movie.
Yeah.
Is Rey and Kylo's
Yep, 100%.
interactions.
And this movie makes it even worse for me that Kylo doesn't end up being the big bad.
Yeah.
Because I want the like complete antithesis of the original trilogy, where you know there's still good in him, and she's trying so hard to pull him back, and I just wish so badly that he never would have. I might be the only person, and it's not even because I don't like the. I know a lot of people hate Reylo as a thing. I don't care about that. Whatever. I just am more upset. He could have been the big bad villain. And he should have slowly developed into that. Especially after he kills Snoke. Which I love that scene.
It's great. I love that
Snoke
fight
like
scene, but you hate it.
foreshadowing. What?
The fight scene that follows right after that, you hate it.
Did I say that?
You've told me that you hate that.
I think the choreography is a little
thing.
goofy.
Fuck you! It's great.
I mean, the amount of people who get kicked by nothing is pretty incredible.
Force kick, baby. It happens.
She didn't kick. She's also facing the other direction.
And
like, it's just choreography is a little goofy. It's a fun fight scene. It's pretty.
You're a little good. I love pretty fight scenes.
But I don't know. It's definitely not my favorite fight scene for sure.
No.
And I love. So the reason this movie always will score higher in my head than like I think it should with my not love of how they do Luke is because they almost correct it at the end.
Yeah.
showing us technically the most powerful force feat that we've ever seen.
Yeah.
Dude traveled across the galaxy and sent a projection that was so real that... Now, I have always wondered why he showed up with the blue lightsaber that was just destroyed instead of his green one. That always confused me.
I hate that. That's a little like that's my biggest pet peeve with this is that it's not the fucking green one.
Right? Like, and I get, is it supposed to be like to show that Kylo's so lost that he wouldn't even notice?
That's what I'm thinking. It's like
I don't care.
Why
give him the green one.
My issue is I don't get why Kylo. I know Kylo doesn't realize the salt's not like getting pushed when he steps or whatever. Like noticing those small things that we are shown.
Yeah.
Because the director wants us to see that this is like why is Jesus here?
Right. I was still shocked because I didn't like notice him not leaving footprints in the salt initially. So when they just started blasting him when I watched this in theaters, I was so shocked. I was like, what? What do you mean? What do you mean?
Well, I feel like Kylo, as lost in his hatred that he is at that point in time, would realize, hey, I just destroyed that lightsaber with right. Rey. Like
that's my issue. It's like that doesn't. I don't like forcing the villain to be dumb just cause.
Mm-hmm.
Like in certain cases, like Hux, he was always dumb. Fine, whatever. You've portrayed him as dumb the entire time. Fine.
Yeah.
Kylo, you haven't. So why is he dumb now?
Yeah.
I get he's consumed by his hatred. Yeah, but he's not stupid. Yeah, I totally understand not noticing the footprints.
Yeah.
Whatever. That's a very subtle thing. That lightsaber's not subtle.
Because he literally just destroyed it.
Right. Well, it's not even that. He had never seen the lightsaber before in Force Awakens.
Yeah.
But then when he sees it, he yells at Rey that lightsaber belongs to him. He would know that lightsaber.
Yeah.
So there's no way. That's like always been weird. But I love that. I love him getting another moment with Leia because of the way they decided to go with the story. I think you could have just had Luke be around, but that's fine. Or just have him be fucked off just differently.
Yeah.
Like if he was still trying to do things, he was learning, he was whatever. That's so much different to me than just
throws back on it.
Yeah, well, because it bugs me. Not my Luke. Well, it is. It's the canon Luke, and that just is what it is. Like, whatever. But I just don't like the way they did it. But I also don't entirely. We'll talk about that next movie. We'll talk about that.
There's
next
no movie after this.
Unfortunately, there is.
Nah, I never seen it. What are you talking about?
Somehow Palpatine returns.
That's a shitty line. Whoever wrote that line needs to get fired because, episode 8 was a great finale to the franchise. I think it's Disney ran out of money.
Yes. Yes. Disney ran out of money for sure. Believe that. Yeah. I don't know. I love all of that. Oh, so I want to go back. I forgot to talk about Canto Bite at all. I know a lot of people hate it. I'm cool with it. It's whatever. It's a side plot. It's fine.
I like it because it shows a darker underbelly to Star Wars.
As it should. That I was going to say, I do love that part where Finn and Rose learn that, like, it doesn't matter what side you're on. It really doesn't. Like, yeah, one side's better than the other, but both sides are bad. It's war. That's how war works. Yeah. Both sides do bad things. And then the rich people are exploiting both sides of the war. That's how this works. And I love the, like, creatures. I can't remember what they're called, but the
dog horses, yeah.
Yeah, I love those. They're so cool. But, like, for me, that never, like, ruined the movie, but I don't care either. Like, it's not like I need that to exist, but I also am not one of the people crying that shouldn't exist. It's fine. It's a side plot. You need those.
I think people are bitching because they finally realized they got hit over the head with the message.
Yeah.
But that's Star Wars. You get hit over the head with the message every fucking movie.
Pretty much, yeah. But one thing that I will still never understand. You're on Crate. You got those little speeders. First of all, Rose turned around. How the fuck did she catch back up to Finn to stop him? She turned around. That doesn't make sense. But also, I know, they literally hit you over the head with the message seconds later. We don't win by destroying what we hate. We win by saving what we love. But also, you just got everybody... Luke hadn't showed up yet. You got everybody else killed by saving Finn. Why? That's not saving what you love. That was what... Finn was literally trying to save what he loved. I don't understand what she's doing. I know, she's saving what she loved, and he's trying to save what he loved, but instead you just doom the galaxy because your feelings. This is why Jedi aren't allowed to have feelings. They get in the way.
I'm not a big fan of the Rose-Finn romance because I feel like there's no romance involved throughout this. Like, there's no, like,
the way it suddenly happens at the end is weird to me.
That also bothers me. I'm like, I'm like, I get like her maybe having a crush on him makes sense, but there's no like reciprocal like.
And well, I like that they don't show that. I like that they don't show him like being into her at all. It's not a romance angle. It's a she loves him and he's like, I'm like, dude. I'm like, Rose, tough, but like he's
still simping for Rey, my guy.
Yeah, that never changes either. He never. No.
He literally like, not 15. Like,
it's like fair enough, man. I can't.
Like after she races the boulders. He immediately hugs her. I'm like, dude, like,
well, yeah,
not, could have dapped it up, or whatever. I feel like Finn might be more in love with Poe than.
I've always thought that. I wish they would have leaned with that angle. That would have been so sick, but no.
Yeah. Disney's afraid of gay people, so.
That's not true. No, literally watch the next movie. Yeah, get cooked.
Is there gay people in the next movie?
Yeah, in the celebration at the end.
Oh, it's the 2-second kiss scene. Oh my god.
I mean, that's the same as the regular romance in this movie. There was a 2-second kiss scene between Rose and Finn.
Yeah, but isn't it in the background?
I mean, technically that was in the background. The foreground was a bit of a speeder. Parts of it.
No, they were the foreground. The background was the explosion of the door.
But I'm still upset that she didn't let him sacrifice himself. Not because I want Finn to die, but because that's what makes sense.
You could have made up a bullshit reason why Finn survives.
Right, do some... Have him, like, have it going and then he jumps out. Whatever. But don't doom everybody else to save the guy you have a crush on. Rose would make a horrible Jedi. Horrible. Worse than Anakin.
Okay, I just want to make this clear to everyone who might be watching this who's a little fucky-wucky. We are criticizing the character, not the actress.
I hate that that's a disclaimer I have to put. No, she played the character incredible. It's not even the character I'm mad at. It's just this scene. It doesn't make sense. Yeah. We're saving what we love. That's what he was trying to do. Mm-hmm. He was saving the rebellion.
He really loves Poe.
I think he loves the people.
Oh, yeah.
He also knows, in his mind, this is the whole movie for him has been about this. Mm-hmm. He has to save all of them to save Rey.
He has to save Poe so he can save Poe, yeah.
Sure. If you want to keep saying it's Poe, that's fine. But the movie really spells it out for you that he's doing it to save Rey.
Yeah.
As much as they're trying to force that angle, which fine, whatever. I like that Rey just doesn't understand what's happening. I think that's more funny.
Dude, I think it's even funnier because when Poe and Rey finally meet, it seems like Rey's kind of into Poe.
Oh, 100%.
Immediately.
100%.
And I think it's the funniest thing in the world. I'm like, dude,
I wish they would have leaned into all of that. Just like for the next movie, no, you have Rose obsessed with Finn, Finn obsessed with Rey, Rey obsessed with Poe, Poe still only giving a fuck about his droid.
Would have been incredible. I love it.
Storytelling, cinema.
That's what it should have been. Let's re-edit the film.
Oh, we're gonna talk about all the re-edits I want to do for The Rise of Skywalker. Oh my god.
No, remember like, there was an initiative that like Star Wars fans wanted to re-edit or reshoot.
I wish they would.
Jedi.
I hate being the guy because I always tell people like, the story's the story. They shouldn't change it. Whatever. If there was one Star Wars project, I wish they'd decanonize and redo. It's The Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, absolutely. But I'm not bitching about that. I'm bitching about that they should have added the angle of Rose into Finn, Finn into Rey, and Rey into Poe, and Poe into his droid.
So good. We forgot to talk about this. What do you think about Leia Mary Poppinsing herself? Being able to fly. People hate it. I don't know.
I don't give a fuck. It's the Force. I don't give a fuck.
You can't use the Force to fly. She used Force pull on the ship. But I don't know if you've ever pulled on things that are heavier than you. It pulls you.
Yeah.
Dumbass. Like, that's what she did. She Force pulled.
My issue with that scene is because they open the door and they all don't come fucking flying out.
True. That's a good call.
Because
what do you think of Holdo? We kind of forgot about Holdo.
I don't give a fuck. Like, she's fine.
Everybody hates that she doesn't tell Poe her entire plan. He doesn't need to know the entire plan.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I've never understood.
But you want to tell the hothead who's been shown to act first, figure shit out later, your whole plan to get 400 people safe. Yeah, of course you're not going to tell him.
You know what my favorite thing is in this movie, though? I think my actual favorite thing? When Poe commits a mutiny.
Yeah. Gets
on the ship, Leia's talking to Holdo. And Holdo just goes, that one's a troublemaker. I like him. It's like, dude, he just mutinied against you, and you're like, I don't like him. I respect it, honestly. He's okay. I like that she understands what Poe didn't.
Yeah.
And that he was trying to do what was best in his mind. She understands that. She's like, he might be wrong, but he wasn't like, it wasn't malicious. It was just, it's one of those things where I do understand the point of view. Well, if she had just told him the plan, he wouldn't have freaked out. You're probably right. But she didn't need to tell him. That's not how this works. Yeah. So who cares?
Also, you don't tell the hothead your plan.
Also, when she flips the ship to do the light speed ram, the hold on maneuver. Yeah. First of all, that ship, the Supremacy, Snoke's ship,
big,
is 37 miles wide.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Nah.
What do you mean, nah?
You can run that in an hour, or 3, or 7.
I want to know how many people worked on that ship.
More than the Death Star.
Probably. Ooh, you had at least one Knight of Ren. I'm looking at the wiki. It's just Kylo. That's all specified. Well, at least one.
It's Kylo. Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna just see how many crew members on the Supremacy. Yikes.
How do you feel about the hold on maneuver, though?
Oh yeah, 2.2 million people.
And they all died.
So, I know a lot of people don't understand it.
It's just debris hitting other shit.
No, that's not it. So, the thing that most people complain about is because they say that, like, when they enter light speed, they're entering a different dimension. They shouldn't be able to hit anything.
Huh?
That is technically how light speed works. Like,
no, it's not.
In Star Wars, yes, it is.
No, because in Solo, they literally say that we map it out so we don't hit a fucking planet.
Right. So, I gotta get into Star Wars science. Stop acting like you know what you're talking about. Stop.
And then to pull up.
Stop acting like you know what you're talking about. Stop. So, hyperspace is technically its own dimension. It's like a not a parallel dimension, but I want to look this up before I completely say things. I know most of it, but it's weird.
Mhm.
Obviously. So it is an alternate dimension that's only reached traveling at or faster than the speed of light. Cool. Simple. It's an alternate dimension, but it's connected. Planets and large things leave a shadow, basically, in hyperspace. That's why if you hit one in hyperspace, it goes kaboom. But also, ships aren't technically big enough for that, so it doesn't. So it's weird. Now, the
When you're
supremacy...
35 miles long, I think
The
you're
supremacy
good.
might be. But the thing is, you're not in that alternate dimension until you've hit light speed.
Yeah.
When she hit the supremacy, she wasn't at light speed. She was
broken
jumping to it.
Yeah.
So she just crashed through it really fast and killed herself. Now, why don't they do this all the time?
It's suicide.
Because it's suicide and because it destroys a ship and that costs money.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Exactly.
why don't you do this thing? Yeah, when we're trying to blow things up in real life, why don't we just drive our planes down into them? Oh, they cost money. You don't want to destroy your shit.
And they did that once before, and a lot of people died.
True. But you know what Jesus. You know what I mean, though? Like,
okay, wait, I'm talking about kamikaze pilots in World War II. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm thinking a lot of things right now, man, but we're moving on.
I was thinking
But, like,
kamikaze
it
pilots.
costs a lot of money. And there's a reason they didn't keep doing that, because it costs a lot of money, and it's a waste of resources.
Yeah.
And it's just killing your own soldiers. That's pretty
And then
dumb.
Godzilla showed up, yeah.
Oh, yeah. But...
The person that hasn't seen it might as well, so it doesn't make sense.
No. I lost my train of thought. You broke everything.
All the maneuver,
Yeah.
suicide maneuver.
But, like, so why don't they always do that? Because of that. And also, because the odds of hitting that are so astronomically low. Now, I get it's a movie, plot armor, it worked.
37 miles long is pretty big, though.
Yeah, but it's actually not that tall, which is another issue. It's not 37 miles tall, and that's what you're trying to ram into. She's not going up under, she's going through. Up under, it's not hard to miss. Going through. So, yeah, that's all fun and dandy. I think it's a cool thing, and I think it makes a lot of sense why they don't just always do that.
Yeah.
I think it's wild that people think that they should always do that. That doesn't really make sense.
Yeah.
At least to me, it doesn't make sense.
No.
But I thought it was a cool move. I liked Holdo's existence. It didn't bug me as much as it bugged other people. I like Leia shooting Poe. I was a pretty big fan of that. I thought it was funny. Leia, blap. Like, haha, got him. And then, yeah, the very end when Rey moves all the rocks. Love it.
Yeah.
And then the little converse. What?
People have a problem with that?
Why would I?
No, people have a problem with the rocks? I think we're trying.
Oh,
my God.
I don't know. People have a problem with everything in this movie. And they have problems with weird things. And they also argue the same problem I have wrong. No, the way people talk about that problem bugs me. You can't say that there's no world where the idea of what Luke does doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense specifically for Luke. That's the issue. And people try to have... They want to hate the movie, so they try to have an argument, but they do it wrong. I don't hate the movie. I just hate the way one character is portrayed. But also, I didn't write the movie, so got to deal with it. Got to live with it. And that's fine.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, this can never be my number one Star Wars movie. That doesn't make it a bad movie.
Well, Revenge of the Sith exists, so...
There are still people who think this is better than Revenge of the Sith, and that's fine. It's called
I'm not saying
opinions.
people, I'm
The
saying
only
you.
one that
Knowing how
can't...
you feel
Oh, yeah.
about
And
Revenge of the Sith.
Revenge of the Sith exists, and so does Rogue One. I will never get over it. It's so good.
Man, when we do that video, it's gonna be crazy, that conversation.
Can't wait to rank Rise of Skywalker 1 just to piss Grayson off.
I'm gonna piss you off.
Oh yeah, I'd be upset at myself.
I'd be like, who's got a shotgun to your head?
Ryan Johnson.
Ryan Johnson didn't do Rise, baby. That was JJ.
Oh, true. Yeah, J.J. Abrams then, whatever. Yeah, I don't know. I enjoy this movie. It's fun to watch. And if I just like try to take myself out of caring about Luke in that way, it's fine. I still enjoy almost all of the scenes on Oct 2. That's why I just think if you don't even have to change it that much, but just a little. Don't have him closed off from the Force. Just have him trying to learn. And I'd like it more.
I think
have it never be that he was like gone.
Well,
And-
he's also in a similar area as Yoda was, and just it's like those hot spots for Dark Force energy.
Right, but Yoda didn't close himself off.
I understand.
He kept
that,
learning.
but Yoda's hasn't been as tempted as Luke has in the past.
That's not true. You need to watch Clone Wars. God
Yeah,
damn it.
you did tell me there's like Hitler Yoda or something like that.
Yeah, there's literally Sith Yoda in that show. It's great.
I'm saying for the normal viewer who's only watched the movies.
Because, well, even in the movies, though, you see Yoda's struggle with a lot of things, but Yoda's also 1,000 years old. He's already had the struggle and the trial and the tribulation.
Looks like 60.
Which, I mean, basically the same thing if you think about it.
Nah.
Well,
Old
when you think about lifespans, it's pretty similar. Star Wars, the oldest humans, like what, 12? They just die. I mean, I know Alec Guinness was in his 80s, but he was like 40 when he died.
Well, the average age just kind of dropped down when people are getting stabbed. So.
Right, that's what I mean. Well, nope, I'm not going to finish that sentence. We're going to move on. I'll tell you later. But yeah, I still enjoy this movie, and again, it sets up a lot of could be interesting plot points for later. I also have to say, right after the Holdo maneuver, both different scenes you get looking at the outside of the Supremacy might be two of the most beautiful shots in any piece of cinema ever. It's so pretty. Oh my God.
I remember back
I love how quiet it gets. When I watched it in theaters, I was like, oh, that's so sick.
Back in 2017, I remember walking up to the box office and saying a sign that says, if you're watching The Last Jedi, after a certain point in the movie, it's supposed to be quiet. Because I remember there's been complaints that it was too quiet. Because no one understood what was happening.
Nice.
Because people were stupid. That's the first time I realized people are fucking dumb.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm a fan of this movie to a degree. Like, it's not. I don't think it's my favorite of the prequel trilogy.
It's not prequel, it's not film. So.
You know what I mean? Sequel trilogy. You know what I meant. It's not my favorite of the sequel trilogy, I don't think. I don't know. I've been trying to weigh it and The Force Awakens. I think I like The Force Awakens more.
I'm going to give you a little bit of a spoiler.
And I think it's just because of the Luke thing.
Yeah, I'm going to give you a little bit of a spoiler. This dropped down in my rankings. This used to be my second favorite all the time.
Wow.
It used to be. Remember, this is before I liked Empire.
Sure.
But it's dropped a little bit. I do have it behind The Force Awakens. But it didn't drop that far.
Okay. I think
we'll have that conversation when that conversation happens.
Yeah. I think it moved. It definitely moved up for me, but not a ton. I don't know. It's weird.
The only thing reason it moved down was just because the other movies moved up. That's the only reason why it moved down.
Sure.
I still hold it in high regard. I just don't hold it. I just hold other movies also in higher regard. So.
No, it's definitely moved up it's moved up multiple times for me, but I think this rewatch is going to put it where I will always rank it ish. Like, things move up and down when new movies come out. That's how it works.
Yeah.
But like, it'll be slotted where it goes and stuff will move around it, I think.
It is the thing all the Star Wars movies orbit.
No, I just think like once this total rewatch is done, I think I will have fully my feelings on everything. Because I've never watching movies for doing this podcast is much different than the way I normally watch movies. Because I'm trying to overanalyze everything while I'm watching them now.
You don't need to overanalyze, just analyze it, bud.
No, I'm trying to like dig into everything. That's how I want to do it, which is good because that means I'm, instead of trying to pick up on new things every time I watch it or whatever, I'm just, this is the deep dive so that any other time I watch them, I get to go back to watching Star Wars the way I enjoy it. Turning my brain off and living in a galaxy far, far away. Yeah, that's normally the way I like to watch these movies, because anything Star Wars, if you dig too deep, it falls apart real fast.
Well, it looks like I'm watching these movies like in 2029 again, so
I'll be watching them in a year, except for episode 9.
We don't know, man. Dude, I would be so. I'm gonna be real. There's a tiny bit of me that wants you to absolutely love episode 9.
I know you do. I guess there's a chance. I just don't think so. You know what I'm gonna come in and say? It's really pretty. It's really pretty.
Episode 9's the ugliest film.
That's not true. Do you remember The Phantom Menace?
The Phantom Menace looks great.
No, because all of the CGI is ass.
No.
Yeah.
Technically, you said The New Hope looks the worst.
Well, I mean, it is the oldest.
Well, you said it almost looks as good as Phantom Menace.
Well, because Phantom Menace had better cameras.
That's the technology that we should be worried about, not the CGI or anything like that. Not the VFX.
Yeah, but I don't know if there's anything else to say about Jedi.
Snoke died. Cool.
We mentioned that.
Kylo cooler. I don't know if we mentioned it entirely.
No, we did, because we talked about the scene, because I love the way Kylo does it. With Snoke narrating it, I see him turning his weapon to strike down his true enemy.
Yeah.
Igniting his saber and then he slides apart like he's Darth Maul. And then
leave his hand too.
And then that guy in the background yells out, oh, he just did him like Darth Maul. That's pretty great. There's just a guy in the corner, You
missed that part? You with a popcorn bucket.
That'd be so much funnier.
Oh my god, we can definitely green screen that shit.
Nice.
No, I think, again, like I said earlier, I think the highlight of the film is anytime Daisy Ridley and Adam Driver interacting in this film, because they have such great chemistry. I think that's where the Ray Lowe stuff comes from, is because
they have great chemistry.
The chemistry is off the fucking charts, but it's also kind of weird. So but enemies to lovers is always a thing.
That's the other. How weird it is also, I think, part of why I always wanted to believe Rey was just Han and Leia's other kid.
Well, we know Star Wars doesn't hate the idea.
Star Wars, it's like poetry. It rhymes. I thought they were rhyming.
When they touched the hands touched, it's the same as the kiss between Luke and
Leia.
Dude, that scene when they touch hands and Luke comes in and fucking blasts the whole thing apart.
Yeah.
I'm like, that feels like you are caught like mid fun session. Oh.
Yeah, but
I love The Last Jedi. I've never seen I've never walked into this and been like, yes, this. Walked out of it and been like, yeah, this is terrible. I've always enjoyed my viewing experience.
Yeah.
I can't think of any moment.
I've enjoyed it.
where-
I just have, like most movies, things I don't like, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Not everything's Revenge of the Sith.
I'm pretty sure we criticized pretty heavily
definitely
Revenge of the Sith.
Duh.
We have an hour 49 of talking about that.
Hey
film.
man. Oh, we gotta keep talking make your outro a little longer, so this episode's barely longer than Force Awakens.
We had 40 minutes of bitching about Luke Skywalker, and now we're like,
we're an hour and 20 in. We did it.
we're past the time. Then. Yeah, we're good.
Because
Yeah.
the other one ended up at 1:20:29.
Ah, I
So
see.
now we're past it though. We made it. Hey, look, Ma, we made it. Grayson, do the thing.
Well, next week we will be tackling the Rise of Skywalker, which both me and Geek hide in very high disregard. But we have neither of us have seen it since 2019, I believe, right?
Yeah.
You haven't seen it since the release. I haven't seen it since released. See, it'll be very interesting to rewatch because I don't think we've gone into a film where we both have hated it previously until now. So, thank you guys for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, do whatever on whatever podcast format you're watching us on. But until next week, when we talk about the Rise of Skywalker, bye bye.